So today we're going to do a little bit different. It's a bit of a custom mod. I'm prone to keeping my cell phone in this little pocket here. Have for quite a while. And I've always wished that there was a wireless charger in there, just so that they don't have to have a cable all over the place. Or if, somebody's sitting in the back seat and they want an extra charger, they can just throw their phone there. So what we're going to do is today we're going to put a wireless charger in here. It should cost you less than $20 to do this mod. And it take you about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. But it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to be an electrical engineer to do it. You just need to have a couple of common tools, and yeah, that's what we'll do. So the first thing we're going to do is flip this open. Okay, now that we've got that open, the first thing we're going to do is pull this, we got to pull this lid off, take it inside where it's going to be easier to work on. And we got to take these 8 Phillips screws out from the underside compartment, and or cover, I guess, not compartment. We're going to pull those out, and then once we do that, then there will be 4, this is the hinge down here, and there will be 4 screws into the lid of the hinge, and we got to pull those out. But in order to expose those, we need to pull this cover off. You'll see the 4 screws, and then the lid will come off. Okay, so here's the tools we're going to need. I don't think we'll need anything more than this, but actually all the stuff we're going to need. So I'm going to use some Gorilla Tape here, or duct tape. 2 small screwdrivers. I need 1 small Phillips and precision flat blade. You're going to need a cheap, inexpensive wireless charger. You can pick them up pretty much anywhere now for $10-15. You're going to need a drill bit, and the drill bit needs to be just a tad bigger than the micro USB end that plugs into the wireless charger. The drill, obviously, and then a standard size Phillips bit. And yeah, so now we'll pop open the rest of that console lid and get going. So first things first, we've got to pull these 4 screws and these 2 here, and then right there, I don't know if you can see it, this is a little clip, and that clip needs to be pried up slightly once the 6 screws are out. And then what's going to happen is this plastic tray is going to slide out, and it's going to give us room to mount the wireless charger to the underside of this part. If we tried to mount it to here, the gap is too thick, so most phones won't pick it up, at least the phones that I tried. So I'm going to pull those screws out now, and we'll pry it out. Now we're going to take the precision flat, and we're just going to pry up gently, as you can see there, and pop it forward. Flip this over, and this is going to come out, and we're going to mount to the back side of this, and there'll be a slight bit of clearance, as you can see here, for us to get the wireless charger in there. So the next step here is we've got our wireless charger. We're going to take our precision screwdriver, the Phillips, and we're just going to pry this bad boy apart, steal the parts out of the inside. They're all pretty simple on the inside. It's just a little circuit board and a coil for the charger. Just got to be careful with the coil. So here I'm just going to pry Sorry, I took it off camera there for just a second just to get this out and pry it up, and this is what we're left with. So this is a chart. This part of the board we're really not going to use or need it. It's got 2 external USBs, but they're going to be buried, so it'll be useless. This is our input where we're going to hook the USB cable up to. I've got it right here, so it's going to plug in there, and then this is our charging coil. So we're just going to gently sort of pry this stuff out. the boards are, you know, pretty robust. Got to be a little bit careful when you're prying. It's this coil, as you'll see when I flip it over. Just want to make sure that you don't crack this coil. So now that we've got that, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to start. I want my power to come down through the back because I'm going to drill a small hole through the underside of the lid, and we'll get to that. But I'm going to try this right here, so I'm not blocking these screw holes, and I'm going to just test fit my phone and make sure that's where it wants to go. Obviously I can't record that part, but I'll let you know if that's where and you might have to just move your phone up and down in the cradle here to or move the charger portion up and down. Once you find that, then you can secure it in place. Okay, so I've got this. This is about where I want it, right here. Mine ended up being the center of the coil was right over that hole. So I don't know if you'll get lucky. I'm using an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and that happened to be where it sat. I did try it with my daughter's iPhone X, and it was in the same spot. So now what I'm going to do is lay this over. I want to get that. Power charging port left open, and I'm just going to gently push down on this tape, get it around, and I'm going to trim this off, but I wanted it to have as much coverage as possible. So now I'll grab a utility knife here. I'll trim this down on both sides and go to the next step. Okay, so now I'm going to drill a hole, and I'm going to come right down in this corner here, and I just want to be able to run this USB cable up. This will be hidden underneath, so I'm actually going to drill two holes. I'm going to drill one hole in this rib right here, and then one hole through here, and then I'll show you what we're going to do when we get it back in the truck here. Okay, so clean that stuff out, and then I'm going to take the USB cable and I'm going to slide it through. Yeah, maybe might have to go one drill bit bigger. Hold on. So I've gotten a slightly larger drill bit here, and I'm just going to check this out. And it's a good thing I got this stepper bit. I don't want to go too big, not that it's going to matter a whole lot, but there we go, that's the size I need. So in this case here, I think it's going to pretty much knock out what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take this utility knife and I'm going to make a slit just for that cable to go in there. There we go. And I'm going to poke this up through, and we'll tidy this up here in a second. But I'll flip this over, try and keep everything so you can see it. I'm going to plug this in here. And what I am going to do is I'm going to just put a little bit of tape right here to keep this off to the side of this and keep it centered. So I've got a little bit of tape here. Put a couple pieces on and keep this from wandering. I'll spin this around. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back in like so. And then you see I've got this cable, but I'm just going to pull this out, pull the cable through so that it doesn't kink. And now I've got it perfectly flush, okay? And here's what it looks like on the inside. We'll tuck this cable down and around here. And we'll put the screws back in. And then we can basically get ready to put it in the truck. We're almost there. So I went ahead and put the screws in. You guys don't need to watch me put the screws in, but we put these 6 back in. The 2 with the larger heads go up here on around the latch. We've got our cable through, and essentially all I'm going to do with this USB end is I have a power port in my center console. I'm sure they all do. And I'm just going to plug it into a USB down in there. It will be completely, that power port never gets really used for anything anyways. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And we can't put the inside cover back on until we screw the hinge back in with these 4 screws. But that's what we're going to do next, and we'll get it wired up. Okay, so we've got this back in. There's 2 little square holes here where these guide pegs go, and I'm just going to put the screws in. There we go. Now that we've got 2, the last 2 should go in here pretty quick. Like so. There we go. Now we need to get the cover, which I left in the garage, but I'm going to push this back down here. I'm just going to tuck this wire in like so. And basically what's going to happen, if I can tilt this just a little, whoops, a little bit. As you can see, I've got a USB right here, and I'm just going to drop this through right here and plug it in to that, and it will stay there, and then my little tray will sit up there. But I'll throw the cover back on this. And then I'll give you a sample of it working. Okay, so we've got the cover in, the undercover, and then now we're just gonna put some screws, if we don't drop them everywhere. There we go. So that's all back together now. We've got it plugged in, as you can see down here. The wire's coming out nice and tidy. When this closes up, you know, you need to have a little bit of flex here, but that's going to close no problem. Flip it open, and it's not going to get in the way of this hinge. It's pinched pretty tight there. I'll grab my daughter's phone and show you that it works. Okay, so I've got my son's phone here. Drop it in, and there we go, and it's charging. So now his phone's an iPhone 8. I positioned everything to so that when my phone was up against the top here, it would be fine. But this is an iPhone 8. It's wireless charging. It's charging there right now. Whoops. And not plugged in, so it's gonna work pretty slick.